And yes, I went ahead and hit that really hard because it looks like we have a lot of visiting going on, which is absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful to see so many of you here. We've had some faces missing, but it's always nice to have people come back. So thank you for being here. And we are going to be led off with the Pledge of Allegiance and with the way from Mr. Tom Tim Sweet.
Good afternoon, everybody. Are we ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, in the four-way test of the things we say or do. Are you ready? First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And our inspiration will be Jim Cooper. And I see some waiting down there. How many 4 cards left? 2 cards left. So if you want some cards and want to win big, you better run back there and get a card.
Okay, I'm gonna need your help just a little bit on this one. So there's a saying that good artists borrow and great artists steal. So we're gonna steal from a great artist today, and the artist is Salvador Dali. But first, a quote from Salvador Dali. He said that, big ego, if you remember that guy. He said, each morning I awake, I experience again a supreme pleasure, that of being Salvador Dali. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna read it again. And instead of saying Salvador Dali, each one of you is gonna say your name. And say it with conviction, because I'm not leaving until I hear you say it. All right. So each morning I awake, I experience again the supreme pleasure, that of being All right.
I would have done another round because I didn't hear it loud enough, but that's okay. Well, we needed a couple to get the first part down, but that's okay. I heard lots of names shouted out, so that was wonderful. Okay, Lisa Higgins is in the back. Did she sell those last 2 tickets? They're gone. So we have all of the 50/50 cards gone. We have, I know Wednesday Club Paul is visiting from the Wednesday Club. Welcome. And it's like I said, it's so nice to see so many faces here today. It was great. I do have somebody else who's visiting with Debbie Brownell. I happen to know, and I don't know if he's a Rotarian or not. Gary Richardson is visiting us. School board member. Yes, well, I see your face. We want to say welcome to you. So there we go. Okay, so with that, I'll move forward and with announcements. Keep our food coming in for the food bank. As we know, there's a lot of food insecurity out there, and the more we bring in, the better it is for our community. Lots of needs. If you do this week, go down and buy a turkey, you'll get enough. And you're not planning on selling your turkey, using your turkey for dinner. If you buy it at the store, you keep the receipt, you can run it up the food bank and they will take it and make sure that some family gets the turkey. So don't let that, don't deny the ticket. Oh, yeah, Paul. Peter, that's what it is. Peter Arnst. Sorry, that is Wednesday Club. Thank you. I said the wrong name. Okay, great. Yes, I do know who is here. I just, between there and there, I turned out his name. I knew it started with a P. By phonics. I'm learning those phonics in kindergarten again. Okay, so I know there's a blue bag announcement. I don't know, I sent out. Okay, I'll let our people come up and give their announcements, and that's perfect. So let's start us off there. Right.
Thank you, President Valley. Everybody knows what tomorrow is, right? It's the first day of the 20% holiday match for your blue bags. So as you fill up your blue bags, and by the way, there's a fee for processing each one, so it really doesn't work out unless your bag is at least about half full or more. But fill them up, and from tomorrow until December 2nd, we get 20% extra for each of the returned bottles and cans that are returnable. So you need bags, we have about 20 ready to go. And there's some at my house. Go for it.
couple of dates to put down. I had sent out a back DV. I just got back from being on vacation for a week and a half, so I know some of you responded, but I haven't gotten through everything yet. So remember to put down December 9th. It's a Tuesday. That's our backpack stuffing event. It's going to be at the Grants Pass High School Commons. We'll start at 4:30 with one shift and probably about 5 with the next shift. The first shift will be the ones unloading, getting things prepped and ready. The second shift will be the stuffing, but more info on that will come. But the big thing is make sure you have the date down. So December 9th, which is a Tuesday for the backpack stuffing event. And then December 18th is going to be our fun little Rotary ornament exchange. So start putting that down, start looking for a fun ornament to be able to bring and we'll do our right left game. I'll see if I find a different one or we may do the same one, but one way or another, it's fun just to find out if all of us can do rights and lefts. So anyway, get those in.
Okay, while you're remembering dates, remember December 11th, because that is the last day to bring me some filled out holiday cards for Operation Joy. So far, we have not had very many turned in this year, so if you guys want to participate this year, please fill out your holiday cards. If you can't remember the details, let me know and I'll resend the email to you. I also have a second announcement. I announced several weeks ago that I would no longer be running the Facebook page for the club, and it was going to be Ashley DeVault. Well, it didn't stick. So it's been me again, but now this time it's gonna stick. Allison Kavanagh is gonna take over running the Facebook page. So if you want me to post it, reach out to Allison. Thanks. Hello, everybody. I am Delynn Sharpen. For those I haven't been around in a while, I am one of the Interact coordinators, and so we're here, and one of our Interact individuals wants to explain why.
Hi, hello. I'm here with Interact. We're based out of North Valley, and we're here to sell cookies for Joe's Place. We have, so it's $2 per cookie or 6 for 10, and then 4 different flavors to choose from. And with Joe's, we are raising money to buy Christmas presents for the kids, so they can give their families something for Christmas.
Yes. Yeah, I was hoping they'd come up because there are cookies in the back. If we get time, kind of see how our time flows. We might have a little time at the end. We might just have them come around to tables if you haven't had the chance, but I am so impressed with our Interact Club, and I just want to say and thank Lynn, because when I go to the President's Club, we by far have the strongest Interact Club moving in the district, and of course, we'd like to enlarge and get the other schools active as well. And I think it's just very important that we have youth involved, and that, you know, I know there's a lot of youth out there that are Rotarians at heart that like to give back. And I think it's such a wonderful thing to do. We all know what a difference it makes in our lives when we give back to others, I was even more pleasantly surprised because it was my understanding they were buying gifts for the teenagers in Joe's Place. But then when I read through the Navigator, which is a wonderful thing to read through if you don't, they are actually buying so that those kids can buy gifts for their family. So that was even more, more touching. And if you didn't read a Navigator, just a little quick, Luke's is getting better. There's a picture of him in there. Lisa sent us a note talking about how he's getting better all the time. He's out taking walks. So yeah, yay, Luke. That's cool. Okay, so I will, at this point, I'm going to, I have one more thing I want to say, and that is the Gateway Rotary Club non-Rotarian. I've gotten a couple of applications. I think we have 3. So if you know somebody else who is a non-Rotarian, who you know is a Rotarian at heart and is doing wonderful things in the community, and they are very good at what they do in their vocation, I have forms that can be filled out and brought in. And then in January, I'm hoping that we can actually have a presentation and talk about those. So if you need a form, I've got some right over here on my table. I'll put them for you. So if you know somebody who is a non-Rotarian, it's a vocational award. So it's for them being really good at what they do, and also follow the full 4-way steps, 4-way tests, and are Rotarians at heart. So without further ado, I am going to introduce our fellow Rotarians who have gone to RYLA. Never mind. What is it? Grow Youth Leadership Academy. Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, so we support them to go, and we love to support youth leadership, and so we've had a couple students come up and tell us about their time up at RYLA. So go ahead. I don't know their names, so I'll let Delaney list them.
Hello, I'm Thomas, and if you went to one of the other speeches I did for the Friday Club, I was there doing the speech for RYLA there as well. I also did the Wednesday Club, so this is my third time presenting RYLA for the third Friday it's saying. This is Abby, this is her first time presenting RYLA for all they all, so. Presentation.
Hi, my name is Abigail Bonilla, and I'm a junior at North Valley High School. I enjoy baking, cooking, volunteering, and fundraising. I have been a part of my leadership program for 3 years now. Some of the things that I learned at RYLA was being more confident and expressive. At RYLA, it really is such an open place where you don't feel judged. I also learned about different leadership styles and when it's better to use them. And how you can combine them. I also learned about the 4-way test. That was when it was first introduced to me, and I think it is such an amazing thing. How I was before. I really struggled academically and in my home life. I felt alone and I felt like I didn't have anyone to really talk to about my troubles. I really wanted to get more involved in my school and in volunteering and fundraising, but I thought that I was too small to do that. I thought that the problems were much bigger than me and I couldn't change anything. I am after I become much more of a help. I fundraise more. I help organize fundraisers. I learned that there was people there for me. I learned that I wasn't alone and that I could talk to my friends and other people that I met at RYLA about my issues. I became a much better leader than I was at RYLA. I learned just how amazing it was and I gained a lot of more confidence in school spirit. I really would not be where I am today without RYLA. It was like just so amazing, and I really appreciate that you guys gave me that opportunity to go. How I am now, I'm much more involved in my school and community. I organize fundraisers with my leadership group. I do a lot of volunteering with my leadership group. I am a lot more confident in my school. I just feel so much better. I share ideas on how to improve my school, and I encourage others in my school to speak up on their beliefs and opinions because I know that can be a hard thing for some people. And I continue to apply what I learned at RYLA to my everyday life. My experience. RYLA truly was a life-changing experience for me. I learned so many new things and I made so many friends that I still keep and that I still talk to today. When I first got to RYLA, I was really shy. I was really nervous and I didn't know any of the people there. It was my first camp-like experience. And I judged them before I knew them. I thought that they were different people and I thought that they were going to judge me. However, that really changed because they were not anything like my assumptions. One of the activities that really brought us together with me and my group was the wall. The wall is where you stand in front of this wall and you look amongst your peers and you express something that you want to overcome this year. And you ask them, will you help me overcome this? And they look at you and they say yes, and they lift you up over the wall. That truly was so amazing. Me and my group really expressed things that meant that we hadn't even told anyone else before. And it was really heartwarming to just see us come together. after having like issues or battles. It felt like we could get better. It felt like it can get better, and it was just so amazing. And that's not even like all of it. There was so many more moments like that where I felt for the first time in my life heard and seen, and it truly made me so happy. And then these are a whole bunch of pictures. I took pictures with everyone in my species group. I was a sea lion, RRR. Yeah. I have to, it's reflex. And there's a picture of me up on stage, which was really nerve-wracking, like right now, but I got through it and it was really happy. It was so fun to do that. And then there's some pictures with me and my group and friends that I made that weren't even in my group. And yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It truly was life-changing.
I had a very different experience, but that's me. That's a different event, so ignore the tag. But for the most part, I'm a very big person to meeting people. I went to RYLA because my dad was like, "Hey, I was at my club and we heard about this thing called RYLA, and I think we should do it." I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And here I am presenting to y'all about RYLA. And I happen to be here, so I don't know how, but I'm here. What it was like for me was not like what it was like for Abby. I went in there with a very different mindset. I was going there expecting it to be a very different experience. I expected it to be more challenging than it actually was, aside from the personal moments you get with your group. There's some photos, one of me on stage, there's one with my group. It was, the thing about RYLA is you get to know people, quicker than you would think you would get to know someone. Like this was, I think, like a week. And I trust some of those people more than I trust some other people in my life that I've known for years. Like I would do anything to help those people on that screen because it was just such a very personal experience for each and every single person. And like Abby said, there was a lot of activities with your group where you would express something very personal about yourself. I've said things I would never tell anyone there. There was a lot of crying. I did not cry. For all no, trust me. You get a test for that. I did not cry one lick. Not even on the bus ride home, which was a lot of crying. Trust me, I had to sit there and be like, why are we all crying, please? Anyways, it was a very heartwarming experience, and I learned things from people, and I've learned some things that people struggle with that I fortunately don't have to deal with, but it's very sad to know that there's people who I've met who are so full of life and like have so much passion for things, and to meet them and realize they struggle with all these things in their life. And there was this one activity called the line where you would go up on the line, not say a word, and you would just go up there if you were struggling with a certain thing or if something has happened in your life. And I learned a lot of things about myself that day that I'm very lucky to have a lot of things I have in my life. And I was more willing to make those around me. Didn't really explain, but RYLA is supposed to be a leadership camp where you went to learn the values of being a leader and also to learn from others. We did many activities that were, again, bonding activities, but there was also activities that were supposed to help build our leadership, but they were never meant to be stressful. I expected this to be a more high stress camp than it actually was, so. But it wasn't. There were times that we argued, but that was part of the growth of going to RYLA. But the main goal was to present the change we wanted to do in our community or in the world. there was one that they wanted to fundraise for schools for Puerto Rico. There was some that wanted to help people like get clothes, and there were some. There was very unique ideas, and it shows how much these people want to make change in the community, and I think that's the main point of the camp. And it's very hard to explain what RYLA is sometimes, because it's not just like you go there with knowing what it's going to be like, because it's, you don't know what it's like. I went there with expectations, and every single expectation was completely different than I expected. So, you know, very, very different, very weird. I never thought, there were some people that I thought I would never make friends with there that I made friends with, and I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it because for any person that would go, because it's a personal experience. It's like, it is an opportunity that you will never have again. It is so unique and so personal that I would ask anyone who has the opportunity and has the time for it to go, because there are things I've learned that I never thought I would learn. There's people I met that I never thought I would meet, and then there's skills you learn that you never thought you would use ever. But now I'm here presenting in front of a bunch of people. And you do a lot of things you never expect yourself to do. I sang in front of people 3 times. I never thought I would sing in front of people in my life, but I did that. Like, I went out of my comfort zone. Like, that's just how much this camp changed my life. Like, I did something I never thought I would do in my life, but I did it, and it was fun, and it was great. Yeah, that's good. That's all I'd say. Continue to be great as you guys are, and be proud of what you do. As me, and that guy next to me is Andrea. He's from Italy. Well, he was from Italy. He's back in Italy now. One of the greatest trumpet players I've ever gotten to know, and it was great singing with him. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Anybody have questions for them about their experience or anything? Also, one of our other Interact individuals in the back, Natalie Miller, she was one of our RYLA students from 2 years ago, I believe. 2 years ago you went? 1 year, last year? Okay, so 1 year. So I just want,
Tell me where it is and about how many kids are there. That's something that and does it represent our whole district? I mean, where the kids are?
So it's majority of Southern Oregon and a bit of California, but there was like 95 people, like almost barely 100 people there, but the camp is capable of holding a lot more. But it's because of COVID, they had a lot less people than they wanted to, so they're working to get that up. But yeah, there was like 100 some kids, and it's up over by Cottage Road. There's a camp about somewhere nearby that we went to. That is where it is. Oh yeah, a majority of them are from like local area, like Grants Pass, like Roseburg, Sutherland, few others, and I think that, and again, a bit of California. There was only like 2 people from California though. I think that's all about like where it is and the people that went.
So-
Questions?
Yeah, not necessarily for you, but maybe for Dylan, can you talk a little bit about what our club does with RYLA? Because there's some people here that are newish that don't really know what RYLA is.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of fill in some of the gaps.
so RYLA is the leadership academy based out of Kyprobe, and Brenda, you probably know the name of the camp better than anybody. Girls Christian Camp, Lake Dorena. By Lake Dorena. It's a camp that once a year, the
Grove
Rotarians,
Christian.
Grove Christian Camp
Dorina.
at Lake Dorina. I apologize, I didn't bring that with me. So each Rotary group pays for students to go. They're supposed to be sophomores or now they've included juniors because they've had a hard time getting the numbers back up after COVID. And then they sponsors the youth leadership to go up and have their leadership skills and create memories as well as becoming more active in their leadership, become a part of Interact, and life experience, which every single student that we have sponsored that has come back has had these amazing stories about how they've grown, and the individuals that they meet up there have become lifelong friends that they continue to stay friends with. It's broken up into different species, so they have little groups that they get together and do the bonding and the leadership activities. There are prior RYLA members who come back and who are asked to be the counselors.
Yes.
And then there's Rotarians that go and help oversee it. And then they come back and speak with us about their experience and how they're going to plug back into the community and help out. But this has been going on. Brenda was Brenda was up there all the time doing this, and one of the founders, I think, that helped in the beginning with it.
It didn't go, it had been going, when I went up, there was, 11 years. The last year was the year before COVID, and then it was closed for 2 years for COVID. And then when it opened up again in 2022, it was the same weekend that we had Porch Fest, and we hadn't had Porch Fest for, so I chose Porch Fest that year. But it's a wonderful experience, and I have not seen a single young person not make major changes in their life as a result of the experience. And yes, they do, they stay friends. I still am friends with people from RYLA from 2010. So and it's great that our club sponsors these young people. And I want to ask you young people to talk to some of your underclassmen at North Valley and encourage them to go, because nobody has any idea of just how important the experience is. So thank you, Daylin, for all the wonderful work you do with these guys.
Yeah, and you were awesome. I will say you were awesome. I am so impressed that you could get up here and stand and talk with a full house of people. We'll leave it at that.
I have a couple questions and statements. I didn't catch your names, but because I'm sorry, but it probably doesn't matter. But one of my questions is, you mentioned that somebody from Italy. Were there a lot of foreign exchange students there? Next question, hold on. How did you guys find out about it? Was it through an Interact, or you mentioned your dad? And just a comment, you got more sorry, I don't remember your name. Abigail. You got more comfortable as you were speaking with us, and it was just wonderful to see. So I really like that. But anyway, if you remember the questions.
All right, so yes, there were actually quite a few foreign exchanges. In fact, I believe one of the people who works with the foreign exchange service was there, and she told us about the foreign exchange service. And there are some people who actually signed up at RYLA to be part of the service, to go for the exchange. I know 2 people who are currently foreign exchange students and others do right now. What was the other question?
Was it through Interact? You mentioned your dad.
All right, so because my dad is part of the Friday Club, he told me about it, and then later at my school, 2 people who went to RYLA the year before told us about it, but I think that's where she learned it.
I learned it because my leadership group, my teacher had mentioned about this camp. And I was like, I've never been to a camp. So I did a little bit of research and I was like, oh my gosh, I should go. And then I signed up and I got in. And also about talking to like freshmen and all that, I have been. Like I talk about it all the time. In my leadership and everywhere. Like as soon as I came home, I kept talking about it to people and I have so many more people. Like they were like, okay, tell me when it's happening, tell me. And yeah, so yeah.
I have, oh, go ahead, Dylan.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask each of you, do you have plans for your future? Do you know what you think you might want to do for a career? And what did you learn specifically at RYLA camp that you think is going to help you the most?
Okay, I do have a plan. I want to be a marine biologist and help out the oceans and all that. If that, because of course, sometimes it turns out that I may not want to do that when I start doing that. If not, I do have a backup one and it's a social worker and help out all the kids and just people. So I guess it taught me the 4-way test. Really, it did. And it makes me like question my actions and like it really helps me a lot. And it's made me become like a better person, honestly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine's a little more boring, mine's law. Pretty much. At RYLA, I learned to be a lot more grateful for myself about things I have and to be more willing to give. That's pretty much what I learned at RYLA.
Yeah.
Hi, I have more of a statement to say, okay, so that's better, answer the question. But they said there were quite a few of the, our exchange students there. And we actually sent one who'd been here for a year, Jay.
Yeah, I just think I know her, yeah.
Yeah, and then 2 outgoing went also. And Joey and Willow. And I just wanted to say, Jay came back, Celia.
Yes, I know her, yeah, she's part of my group.
Came back and she said her whole year, that was her best experience. And we're considering if she should even go, but that was her best experience. Joey and Willow both said that they felt so much better prepared. It made them feel better about going away and able to open up and talk to people. And I just wanted to share that.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think just hearing what you had to say, sir, RYLA needs to put together some kind of musical group.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, yeah, was it Andrea was a trumpet player?
Andrea, he played the trumpet, yeah.
Okay, now see, this is just all breeding grounds for putting something together. I think maybe you should be involved in it.
If you know, let me know. Find my dad. Tell him to come find me and tell me that you'll do that.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of us out here that will help you.
Yeah, all right.
Did you tell us what you wanted to do? Did I hear that, or was it that law? Just one word, law.
Yeah.
I got it.
But really, just like,
Where's law?
just more.
Are there any other questions?
If you guys want to get on our newsletter, like we have a newsletter that comes out every week and you want to know what we're doing for the next meeting or whatever, presentations like yours, just fill out the thing in the back on the pool table and put your email address and we'll sign you up. If your parents are interested in well, your dad's interested in Rotary. But if their parents are interested and they want the newsletter, it's a good way to get to know what we do here. And you're future Rotarians, I'm sure.
We'll see how much time life gives me.
A lot of connections, people were talking about ways that RYLA connects, whether it's with the Rotary Youth Exchange Program or leadership program back at school and et cetera, et cetera. If I remember correctly, the water project that the North Valley led for so many years began as the idea from one of the RYLA students. And just wondering if anybody else thinks of any other examples of concrete projects that came back from the kids, right?
I don't know whether it happened, then you also, I was gonna ask you, they're back there. Okay, good. I want you to answer, not me.
Hi again, everyone. So I'm actually a member on the Thirst Student Board. There is 9 of us, or 10 of us now, across the nation, and we get together once a month and we collaborate on all our ideas and awareness campaigns and everything. And Thirst is just, it's so great. I love it so much. I've gone and I've spoken at some leadership conferences and everything. And we're also fundraising for our 3rd well. We've fundraised for 2. And we did those 2 with the other schools in the area. I'm sure some of you guys remember that. Yeah, okay. And so we're just on the way for 3rd well, and it's just been going so great. And Thirst has been expanding. And actually, we're the end of needing wells in East Watini is almost here, and we're gonna move to, I believe, somewhere in South America, like El Salvador or somewhere like that. So
Explain what Thirst is for those who aren't aware of what our international project is. So with Interact, we're required to do a minimum of 1 local project, if not more. It's up to the group of how many, and then 1 international. And so the Thirst is the international one she's speaking of.
So Thirst, our goal is to end the global water crisis. Now, there's still 700 million people in the world who don't have access to clean, safe drinking water. And this leads to, it just affects so many areas of their lives. I mean, people get sick, they get AIDS, and now we aren't an organization that's related to AIDS, but in our eyes, they go hand in hand. Now, kids also are normally the ones who treat the water for their families, and that means that they cannot go to school and they walk. The average is 3.75 miles one way to get water from just terrible sources, streams that animals go to the bathroom in, holes that they dig in the ground and fight over the little bit of water that can come up, and that's all the water they get for the day. And so it's incredible to see the impact that we've had. And I can't even express it. I'm so grateful for this project. It's just so incredible. And our goal is just to end the global water crisis as soon as possible.
Wow. Thank you. I think the third one, I remember like going in 2019, they were working on, and somebody was supposed to go to, I think, Africa. Did she ever get that opportunity to go to Africa? And how did that work?
She did, and she came back and it spoke at one of our meetings about her experience. But she was able to finally go and visit the first well that we sponsored, which, by the way, each well's $12,500 per well. And they go in, it's all the money the group raises goes to that well. None of it goes to the overhead of this nonprofit organization. And she got to go see where the well was. They have locals build it. They allow the community to learn how to fix it. So it's all the community's involved. So they're really vested in making sure this water source stays active and works for them. They did a ceremony that she was able to participate in. She got a chicken from it. But they gave away, but it was part of the thank you ceremony was a chicken. So she had a life-changing experience, and I'll have to have her come back. And she's still in the area. She's going to be a nurse now, so she's finishing that up. But
She was one of the originals.
Okay, yeah, I was really nice. And I know last year you did some fundraising with the beef, correct? And how did that, is that still going on or is that?
They sold all the beef, so we got the Wagyu beef sold, and that was a great fundraiser, on that. Did we ever get the number of what's in our, budget right now for going towards the well?
4,500.
4,500 for their next well, if, yeah, so. And then the local one they chose this year is Joe's Place that we're doing right now, and potentially another one, so. Great.
Can you explain what Joe's Place is so that people who aren't familiar with Joe's Place?
Sure. Joe's Place is a local nonprofit that helps teens that are homeless. They give them a place to go, they give them food, clothes, because there's a lot of teens that couch surf. And so they don't stay at home, they don't have a solid home life to where they feel safe staying in their house, so they give them a place, especially after school. They give them food. During the holiday season, they have out by the fairgrounds, they sell trees. That's one of their big fundraisers in Reese to offset their cost. Their place where the teens go to hang out is over off of Rogue River Highway. I can't think of the address, but it's right over in that area. And then what they also allow them to do is we're raising the money to buy gifts so that the teens in the facility can buy gifts for their families for the holiday season so that they have something to gift them. That need for this and for the teens has really grown because a lot of the local organizations kind of focus on the younger kids a lot of times. And so having this organization that helps the preteens and teens is a great thing. And I'm happy that the group decided to.
Yeah, I think it's very, and I was wondering if it was preteens and teens, whether it was middle school and high school kids, is that kind of?
I believe so. They, seems like most of them are the teens, but I know they can go down to some of the preteens, like 13, age 13 and up.
Well, I know that they will be much better at helping get gifts and knowing what those kids need than we are.
Yeah, they had a fun time shopping last year. I'm sure we'll do it. We'll have fun.
So that's great. It's wonderful to see kids help kids. And I think, like I said, we see definitely the Rotarians in you. And like I said, we know they're out there. We know that a lot of kids, we all know how much we grow when we give. And I think that's a lesson for a lot of young kids, because there are a lot of young kids that are kind of lonely and, you know, are kind of lost. I mean, I was. And so just to have them realize that they're not alone, number one, and realizing that giving to others is strength. And you just guys were both awesome. So I sure wanted to let you know that, and let's give him a big round of. I wanted to say for about 5 minutes, I'm just gonna let, if you guys wanna walk around the tables and see if anybody, I don't know if everybody got a chance to buy cookies. I know Allison is our sergeant of arms today, so, but I thought maybe we'd let them, because I will need a minute or two to get my money together and do whatever, so I'm gonna let them come around and see if there's anybody else that wants to sell cookies. I had an activity, but it won't happen in time, so that's all good. So let's just take 5 minutes to visit with your neighbor for a couple minutes, and we'll get everybody who wants to, needs to. Let's do it.
I know, but I have Jim and you don't really have to. I know, it's next Wednesday. I'll remember to go.
We should press that up.
Yeah, not too much, but yeah, I knew. You guys are.
It's like Friday, but I don't remember. Okay, no. No, they paid for us. I was moved. I don't want to say anything. And it's very. I'm surprised I didn't. Yeah.
All right, calling you back to order so that we can move forward with our Allison as our sergeant of arms. So please give Allison your attention and be thinking of happy bets for something.
Hi, everybody. This is my first time, so please be kind and gentle. I've never done this before. But today I was trying to figure out what I'm going to talk about. And my marketing coordinator reminded me this morning that it's World Kindness Day. Which is so great. So as somebody who works in philanthropy and fundraising, I celebrate kindness every day. But having the opportunity to bring it here to the club, I thought would be special. So I did a deep dive. And so what I found is World Kindness Day is celebrated on November 13th every year to promote goodwill, empathy, and compassion around the globe. It serves as a reminder that small acts of kindness can have big impact and helps bridge divides between people and communities. It was founded by the World Kindness Movement in 1998. As a group of non-governmental organizations came together to empathize the common thread of kindness that unites all people. I was looking into different ways to celebrate kindness, and so I put together a list. So for the first one is perform random acts of kindness. As we all know as Rotarians, small acts can have a big impact. Examples that we put together were surprise a stranger with a kind note, help a neighbor with kindness, plant a tree, buy a cup of hot coffee for the person behind you in line. Volunteer for a good cause, find local organizations or charities that align with your values. And I want to plug in Boys and Girls Club is always looking for volunteers. If you're looking for a place, come on by. I could use you in many different areas. So whether serving at like a soup kitchen, cleaning up parks, tutoring children, or reading like Val does with the kindergartners, those are all great opportunities for volunteer for a good cause. One of my favorites is practice self-kindness. I think for a lot of us who are kind of in the same realm of philanthropy or really having that passion of kindness and wanting to help others, that we neglect our self-kindness. I know that I am very guilty of that. But some good examples is taking that time to nurture yourself. So engage in activities that bring you joy, practice self-care, and extend compassion to your own needs. And then last, I have spread kindness online. We live in a digital age, especially our teens that are here today. And while the digital age has its downfalls and its struggles, one of the great things that we can do is really share things and share those uplifting stories to a broader audience. So using that digital age for good to share stories, inspirational quotes, or engage in conversation that promote kindness and empathy. So to end, I found some really great Kindness Day quotes. First is, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. That was by Mark Twain. Remember, there's no such thing as a small act of kindness. Every act creates a ripple with no logical end. The world is full of kind people. If you can't find one, be one. Kindness is a gift everyone can afford to give. and a warm smile is the universal language of kindness. So I thought today for Happy Bucks, maybe we could do something a little bit different and focus on kindness. There's so much kindness that happens in this club. I mean, I see it every day. I experience it every day with many of you. And so I thought we could take time. We could still do Happy Bucks, but do kindness bucks as well. So say thank you to somebody in the club who has done something kind, or if a program has impacted you, we could do Happy Bucks that way. So I can start. She's not here today, but Judy Basker, when I was a baby fundraiser, she invited me to her house and we sat together for a couple hours and she just spewed wisdom, which I think has really impacted my career moving forward as a fundraiser. So I wanted to say thank you to her.
Last week, when I was here for the Rotary meeting and I went up to get my lunch and went in my wallet, I had no money. And the lady behind me, whom I was so embarrassed, I forgot her name or who she was, even though I looked at her badge. She paid for my lunch and she wouldn't even take, I had two $5 bills, but she wouldn't even take those. So the act of kindness, I'm just so grateful for. Everyone here is just wonderful. I'm grateful to be a Rotarian.
Yeah. I have a couple of kindness. One is, I guess it's kind of kindness indirectly. I want to say thank you to Debbie Brownell and Bob because they have an amazing company. This week, Josh, Anthony, and Shane were at my house and they did a whole lot of changing out light switches and plugins and whatnot. And they carry a little vacuum around with them. And they vacuum up every little pile of dust that they create. I'm telling you, I just about hugged Josh when this on. He said, "Oh, you know, they always say people at workers are so sloppy," and they do, and we're trying to change that. Hello. So Debbie, you and your team have a great leadership. The other person I would express gratitude for kindness is to me. Last week we went to the coast. I every now and then need to plug in to that sort of higher power that's out there in the Pacific Ocean. And so I went to the Mushroom Festival, aka my L on my shirt, and spent time on the coast. And then also we went into the Stout Grove and hiked around. So it's, you know, that touching base with the world around us and the gratitude that we have as a result. It's definitely something I need to do. So that.
Okay, mine was sort of a surprise this morning. Tommy and I were feeding the people that come to that are houseless and come to the back of the church. Yeah, Newman Methodist Church. And it was a man, and I gave him, Tommy and I put the food together and I gave it to him, and he said something like, "I don't know why you girls do this." And I said, "Well, because we care about you." And he said, "Why?" Just like that, why? And I said, "You're part of our community. We care about our community." And he just looked at me like that was so, he wasn't expecting to hear that. And so I don't know if that's an act of kindness or not, but it needs to be said.
Lots of hands. This is too many people. It will make me cry. But today it's gathered. For having kind words that I needed to. It's been making me cry.
I didn't mean to make you cry, Bev. I'm sorry.
I promise to hold it. I'm usually one crying, usually me, but I would say the kindness we do for each other and with all of us that have partners or husbands, wives, whatnot, we kind of probably take it all for granted, even though it's happening all the time with all the little bits and everything. So I appreciate the kindness. And then, we have the foreign exchange with Suzanne, and she's going off with a new friend to Eugene's, the football game. And that young lady's father insisted on coming over and introducing himself and being gracious about trying to make us feel comfortable, although we didn't necessarily feel uncomfortable. Make us feel comfortable about her going away with him to Eugene with that group of people and whatnot. It was very, very generous of him to do that.
Oh, steps into me.
One of the things that I would really feel is my husband sometimes, he's always thanking me for, oh, thanks for breakfast or dinner or whatever. But every time I leave to go to the feeding that Kel and I do for the homeless, he goes, I don't know where you get the energy to do this. That is so great that you do it. And that makes me feel really, really good.
My happy bucks, I would have millions if I had them to give to all the Rotarians in this group. But especially Greg and Margaret, who helped me with the Student Service Above Self Award. And we're doing something new. And Margaret got the certificate to print out in a whole page. Greg and I were in here the last time at the luncheon, tearing apart the half-page certificate that we printed out. So we're really anxious and grateful to Margaret.
Yeah, I've seen it all overboard over time, so like I said, we could talk probably forever about the found kindness in this group, and I would agree with that totally. It's wonderful. So I am going to say the winner today for the pick the card is an 8 of diamonds. Who has the 8? Imagine he's lucky. And for those of you who don't know, this is a probability. She buys, I think, 10 cards, 10 cards every week. So it's always, you're lucky if you win because the probability is highest that she is going to win. So there we go. Thank you. And I have a couple words. This is a little funny story. First of all, I chose one thought for the day. The strength of youth lies not in age, but the courage to dream and the will to act. But then this is kind of fun. I'm kind of getting into AI a little bit. I watched a Mel Robbins podcast, and she said, the only way you're going to learn about it and be a part of it is just do it. Just get on there and play with it. So when I was looking for quotes, I went on, and I actually am in the process of building a page, inspirational page that has it. I found this wonderful quote, and I'm, like I said, adding music and adding nature scenes. It's actually been a lot of fun. And this is the quote that I'm working with. I'm making it into an affirmation. Dream loud, walk brave. Let your heart be the path you pave. Fall forward, then rise anew. The world is waiting, and it starts with you. So there we go. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next Thursday.